you a songwriter? Are you looking to turn your songwriting passion into a full-time gig? Whether you are just at the start of your songwriting journey or a seasoned industry professional, this show is made for you. Welcome to The Songwriter Show, bringing together songwriting news, interviews, and community. Now, welcome your host, Sarantos.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and welcome back again to the Songwriter Show on Reality Radio 101. I'm your humble host, Sarantos, a solo music artist that's been writing lyrics since I was a little kid. Words just mean the world to me, and that's why I love hosting this show for you every single Tuesday evening. I believe very strongly in my heart that every song is an important story. Tonight, I'm so happy to have on the show Giovanna. She's a singer-songwriter whose music lives at the crossroads of a blues rock Indian Americana sound. Blending grit of the Jersey coast with the soul of the South, Danny creates a unique sound of urgency, comfort, and captivation.
And now, welcome this week's special guest.
Welcome to the show, Danny. How are you?
Hi, how you doing? Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So it's a pleasure to have you. Tell us a little bit about your backstory. When did you start playing and why?
Sure. So I've been singing and into music since I was young, in choir and the talent shows at school. And then I was about 15 when I said, you know what, I really want to start pursuing this. So I started with lessons and forming bands with other kids in high school. And then it carried me over the years. And then there was a little period of time where I kind of put this aside and almost forgot about it because of what was going on. And then I picked it back up only about a year ago. And it's really awesome that only a year later I'm able to sit here with you. It's really amazing.
That's a great story. Do you play any instruments?
Yes, so I do play guitar. Something that when I was younger, I wish I took more seriously, but I just wanted to sing. That was it. And so again, last November, I got myself a little youth guitar off of Facebook Marketplace. And about a week and a half ago, I traded that in for, a better guitar to take out with me. And I'm learning it and I'm out there doing it, something I dreamed of, when I was younger. So I'm really putting in the work for all of this because my younger self definitely wanted me to.
All right. Do you have any famous musicians you admire?
Oh gosh, there's so many. Growing up, my parents had the best music playing. So storytellers like Jimmy Buffett, Gordon Lightfoot, they were always around. Bruce Springsteen, of course, being from Jersey. So those songwriters always lived like in the back of my mind. As I got older, I started to get into some more of the hard rock. I love Joan Jett. I love Steven Tyler. And then now, where I am today, there's definitely a couple artists that I really look up to, and one of them is country artist Morgan Wade. Her storytelling, her lyrics, everything about it. So, you kind of change as you get older, but everything always sits still in like your heart and your mind that you remember, oh, I wanted to be like that person. Oh, I liked that person. So it's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Are you influenced by old 8-tracks, CDs, vinyl? What are you influenced by?
All of it. I think there's something special about I want to say like wave and decade of music and how that was being put out into the world and just the different sounds, everything sounded a little bit differently, like when you compare it. So I've always been captivated by that because I really just felt like it matched the energy of the time that it came out in. And I'm an old soul. So I definitely look back at some of those different eras of music and it inspires me just in my sound and what I do and what I write.
How do you balance music with any other obligations you might have in your life?
Yeah, that's definitely hard. I work full time and I'm married. So family things and being married, it's definitely hard, but you find the time when it's something that means so much to you, you make it work. So whether I'm up 2 hours before I'm supposed to be up because I'm in my back room writing or going over something or watching a video or, practicing my chords, and then even afterwards, like right now, I could be sitting on the couch watching TV, but that's not what I want to do. I want to be doing this. I want to be emailing people and getting myself out there. So even sometimes 11:30 when I should be sleeping because I have to get up in the morning, I find myself, in my back room working on these things because that really is where my heart is. So it's just you make the time, and no matter how tired you are, it's you remember I'm doing this because I'm trying to get to that. And that definitely helps your mindset.
Absolutely. I get lost. I will be sitting here, whether I'm writing a song or a screenwriter, any of this stuff that I do, I can get lost for hours. And like you said, you look up, you're like, oh crap, it's 1 o'clock. I got to get up early.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be a challenge.
Yeah, definitely. But you're right. You get lost in it, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I need to make dinner. I have people that I have to feed.
Yeah.
But it's all right. Like you said, it's a good problem to have. It just means that you're so inspired and that your creativity is flowing, and that's a great thing.
What do you like the most about writing lyrics?
Oh man. It's so crazy. As emotional as I am, I have a very hard time face to face with somebody being emotional, right? I am very vulnerable and sensitive, but I don't like people to see that, right? I like to be tough. I like to put on this exterior. And so writing lyrics and pouring all of that out, it's therapeutic, but it's also a way to say what you have to say to people, no matter what it is that you're not able to do in some way, shapes, and forms. So just being able to get out what is in there in your heart and your head and on that paper and then out into the air, right? When you're finally performing it, it's just like, wow, yeah, that was what was inside of me and it's out there. So it's very therapeutic and I like that part of it.
Tell us a little more about your songwriting process. How do you get started?
Yeah, I mean, it could be so random. I think very often when I'm washing the dishes, I'm in a very zen state of mind, with the water, and all of a sudden something will just pop in my head like a line. And I immediately know, oh, I gotta stop what I'm doing. I gotta go in the back and I gotta write that down and I gotta see if something else comes out with it. So it's just for me, it's very hard to just sit, be like, all right, right now from 6 to 6:30, we're gonna write a song. That's not how I operate. So it's usually somewhere throughout the day. Maybe I'm driving and I pass a street sign and I'm like, ooh, I like that. I like that, the sound of that. And then all of a sudden this whole story comes out or I'm able to connect it with something. So it's very random. It's at all different parts of the day. Sometimes it's at night. You wake up and you're like, whoa, did I just dream that up? And then you got to write it down. And that's the good thing about the phone, is that it's right there and you're able to jot it down and then you go back to it later.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay. Tell us about this song that we're going to hear right now. What inspired this one?
So Hurricane in a Shot Glass is, well, my grandfather always called me Hurricane Danielle because I just came in like a storm from the day I was born, like real alive and kicking, and it hasn't stopped since. But what really inspired the idea of the song was my wife, Alexandra, who always says, she's the calm to my storm. And it's about loving someone who's like that, which could be hard, someone who really is like this storm coming in and there's so much to them. It could be difficult and challenging to get through to that person and kind of find their center. So my wife was able to do that in such a graceful way, and I give her all the credit. I don't know if I would have ever been able to do that. So that song is for people who feel they're on one side or the other, and that it's okay. And it's okay to be a storm and to own that and to know that people do love you for that and never to try to change that part of you. So there's like a couple different things going on in this song and different perspectives, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Okay. Tell you what, let's take a listen to your song and we'll come back and talk some more, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, everybody, check this out. Here we go.
Hurricane in a shot glass, won't you come and dance with me? Something tells me you'll need somebody who lets you stay wild and free. Hurricane darkness cause trenches on the fall lines. And I've never loved somebody whose soul has stood the test of time. Hurricane in a shot glass. You got scars you won't let me see from a faded recent past. I hope you know they don't scare me. I see the ways you're hurting, left jaded and so empty. Hurricane in a shot glass. You don't scare me. I've never loved somebody whose soul has stood the test of time. Thoughts are higher than the mountains you've been all not to climb. In the depths of her darkness cause trenches on the fall lines. And I've never loved somebody whose soul has stood the test of time. You can shield your heart from getting into her, but in my eyes, for what it's worth, I can be the same you're searching for. I can be the one you can't ignore. Hurricane in a shot glass. Won't you come and dance with me? Something tells me you'll need somebody who lets you stay wild and free. I've never loved somebody whose soul has stood the test of time. Thoughts are higher than the mountains you've been all not to climb. In the depths of her darkness cause trenches on the fall lines. And I've never loved somebody whose soul has stood the test. Soul has stood the test. Soul has stood the test of time.
Thank you so much for sharing that song with us. That was pretty cool.
Oh, thank you.
Do you feel like men and women, do they get the same opportunities nowadays? Are we over that, or is it still kind of a little not equal?
That's a good question. I feel like I have been very fortunate and lucky in most ways that I get a lot of the same opportunities, I feel. But what I do think that I have come across is being looked at a little bit differently. And by that, I mean, a lot of the times when I was growing up and in bands with guys, they wanted me to look a certain way and act a certain way. That wasn't really me. And, now as an adult, maybe I don't get that as much. But again, it's kind of like they want me to be a certain way, maybe a little, for lack of a better word, tamer, maybe a little more demure. So
Sure.
while I feel like most of the opportunities are there, maybe the expectation is a little different or a little like more boxed in, if that makes sense, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. People just have these preconceived notions, and unfortunately, we all have that issue where sometimes people try to pigeonhole you in a certain genre of music or a certain lifestyle, and it's challenging, right?
Yeah, very, very much. And I think even though I've only just met you, I feel like you are so welcoming of whoever's with you or in front of you or that you're speaking to. And if everybody, could be like that, that would be really awesome because, everybody's so different. So yeah, it's challenging, but I think that people of anywhere and everywhere can feel that way sometimes, like you said.
I think the older I've gotten, people I think are going to judge and be a certain way. And all I can do is try to put a good energy out there and be myself, because there's nothing worse to me than if you're an artist or with your friends and you have this persona, you're trying to fake it. You're trying to be whatever it is, and I look at different artists from Katy Perry to all these different personalities, and they're kind of pigeonholed in that style of music or that personality. And I would hate to be that.
100%. I agree. Yep.
Yeah. So one of the questions I like to ask a lot of guests is about scams and getting ripped off. Tell us about one you might have fallen for, or one that, just so we can protect each other.
Yeah. So, before I released any of my music, I spent a lot of time watching videos about these things and people talking about it and kind of warning and just saying, heads up, this stuff can kind of go on. Not to say that I was like 100% I know what a scam is, but
Yeah.
the one over here who knows now, but I felt like I had somewhat of a good idea. So one was actually like on TikTok, and it was a message request that I had gotten, and this person was kind of like, wow, I love your style, I love your look. Oh my goodness, maybe we can collab, we can work together. And we went back and forth a little bit, and then, all of a sudden it kind of turns into this other direction of, okay, well, now all of a sudden, like, you owe me money and this is my pricing. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what's happening here. So I feel like that's an easy one to kind of get lost in, because you just feel like you're talking to another artist of some sort, and then all of a sudden it changes and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not what we were doing here. At least not on, that I thought. So I think that's like a really easy one, as opposed to, some of these bigger ones that you hear about, money, like sending money up front. And luckily I haven't come across that yet, knock on wood. And I really hope that if I ever was to come across, I kind of have some of that knowledge, that previous knowledge to spot that red flag. So yeah.
I hate hearing shit like that, just because I feel like it's hard enough to make it.
Yeah.
And we just don't need those kinds of players. I cannot even tell you how many times I have people asking me to collaborate, manage me. And my first question is, tell me what you're interested in. And basically the question is, something to the effect of, do I have to pay anything?
Right.
Because real managers and they just don't. And I think a lot of people fall victim to all sorts of things. Pay $100 there, $50 there. You're going to go viral on Spotify. You're going to whatever. And it's just, the story sounds sexy and we all want it to be true.
Sure. And there's so much of that on social media. There's so much.
Yeah. Nobody says, I want $100. They say, hey, let's collaborate, or hey, I love your stuff. And then it just,
They're sly. They know what they're doing.
Or it's a chatbot or an AI that they've kind of set up to kind of spam all of us at the same time.
Very true.
Yeah. How do you manage a creative block, or the dreaded word, writer's block? Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, definitely when I have some external stressors like my job or something like that, kind of gets me down in all areas. And as opposed to, this being that creative like outlet, all of a sudden everything kind of just feels like it's blocked, like you're saying. So I give myself grace and I say to myself, this isn't going to last forever. If you're not able to do something tonight, don't stress about it. Maybe you need to relax. Maybe your brain needs to relax, your mind, your body. So maybe I need to go to sleep, right? So
Sure.
I put myself to bed or take a walk. I love to be by water. I grew up right on the Jersey Shore. Like, the water to me, again, so therapeutic. So even something like that, maybe I got to go sit by the water for a little bit and be out in nature. I love nature. It's so calming. Again, as a storm, my internal is so chaotic that I like my external to be very calm. So a creative block like that, definitely be outside, and then just listen to the artists that really inspire me, and just then try to put myself in the mindset of, I wonder where they were when they were writing this, or I wonder what they were thinking about. And that definitely seems to help. That kind of then like jolts you a little bit, like, ooh, if they could write that, then wait, I could write this. And it's almost like a little game with yourself, almost like a psychological game, right? Where you're trying to trick yourself. So I find those things to be very helpful for me.
What's the most rewarding feedback you've ever received from a member of the press?
Oh, probably that how like when I had sang like one of my original songs and they were like, "You wrote that?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah, I wrote that." And they were like, "Wow, you're very, you're descriptive, your storytelling." They were like, "I feel what you're writing about. Like I feel so connected to you." And as if I've known you forever and we had only just met. So that right there, that's all you could ask for. For someone to say that to you, for someone to be like, what you wrote, like as if you wrote it for me, as if I was up there with you. For me, that's all I'm trying to do here is connect with people and have someone say, "Oh, she went through that and I'm kind of going through that. I feel like I'm not by myself." So that was very rewarding because I just felt like what I sang about, they heard and they felt. And really, how could you beat that?
What was your first job when you were younger?
My first job? Oh man. Back in Jersey, I think you were allowed to be 15 when we worked at an apple orchard. We have all beautiful farmland. So I worked at an apple orchard and I remember people remembered me for being the girl in the leather jacket. They couldn't remember. They were like, "That girl in the leather jacket, where's that girl in the leather jacket?" So I liked that that was a distinguishing feature of me on that job. But yeah, that was my first job.
Are there any apps on your phone that you just are obsessed with and you can't live without?
Hmm. The funny thing is I did not have TikTok until I started doing this. People I worked with, they were like, "You need TikTok, you need Instagram." I used to have Instagram and then I deleted it years ago. That I was fine not having social media.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "No, you definitely need it for this." So I think that I have a pretty healthy relationship with social media because I don't love it that much, but now that I'm in that game of having to promote and advertise myself, and I am on TikTok so much, so much, and you get lost on there. And my whole
Yeah.
thing is music and just all of these people telling you what to do. And so, you gotta separate yourself from it for sure, or else you just make yourself nuts. But if I had to pick one, TikTok really has got my attention right now.
Tell us about where people can find you, hook up with you online before we let you go here.
Sure. So, yep, TikTok and Instagram are my two big social media right now. That is at Danny Gio Music, DANNYGIO Music. And, messaging me on there. It's great. My community's still on the fairly small side, so I am able to connect with people on there a lot easier. YouTube, again, at Danny Gio Music. Those are my big ones that I'm always on, and always my email, DannyGioMusic@gmail.com, is another really easy way to get in touch with me. And yeah, those are my big avenues right now.
Cool. I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Oh, I want to thank you for having me on the show. I mean, it was a pleasure talking to you for these last couple days while we got ready, and just being here tonight. It was really awesome. So thank you.
You're very welcome. And thank you to all of you tonight for sharing a little bit of your oh so precious time with the two of us. Thank you for being a part of the show. If you're an artist with a story to share, please go to songwritershow.com and fill out the interview request form. Otherwise, I hope you'll all join me again every single Tuesday evening as we continue to uncover these awesomely inspiring journeys behind the music. Keep creating and connecting, and I love you all. Have a great night.
Love comes in many forms, many shapes and sizes. You accept my flaws, you see me through it all. You're not perfect, no, even when it's not easy. It's sadly in my nature to take risks and look for danger. I could never help myself, pretended I was someone else. I couldn't see past my own lies. defy hell. You're my rain guitar, steady and faithful. You're my superstar, never unhateful. You're my rain guitar, my sweet rain guitar. You're my rain guitar, my sweet rain guitar. Days come in many molds, many dead ends and many walls. Like the clouds, you're gentle. Hold me when I cry and tremble. You're the love and hope I didn't always know I needed. You propped up my weak side. I'm glad I never left you behind. I could never help myself, pretended I was someone else. I couldn't see past my own lies as you stood up to defy hell. You're my rain guitar, steady and faithful. You're my superstar, never unhateful. You're my rain guitar, my sweet rain guitar. You're my rain guitar. Everybody should know love like this. You don't, won't melt in the storm. You wait, hate is not your way. You're the best part of my day. You're the best part of my day. You're my rain guitar, steady and faithful. You're my superstar, never unhateful. My rain guitar, my sweet rain guitar. You're my rain guitar, my sweet rain guitar. Always there for me, even when you hurt me.
Thank you for listening to The Songwriter Show. To keep the momentum going, head over to www.songwritershow.com and join our free music community of artists, songwriters, and producers. That's www.songwritershow.com.